Thanks for being with us. So how significant is this Victory Day and the timing of these recent attacks?
Well, good morning, Marni. Boy, it's been a busy 96 hours in Ukraine, leading up to what will be a significant parade in Russia, this annual Victory Day parade, which commemorates the Soviet defeat of Nazis back in the 40s in World War II. It's also a significant day for Putin, as he, over the years, has rallied support of the Russian people, not only for the Russian military, as well as the sentiments leading up to that defeat of Nazi forces, but also his own personal, he's trying to shore up some support by trying to obviously hit the emotional strings of the hearts and minds of the Russian people. So it's a significant day. All along, it's been really lots of battles going on, both from air and ground in Ukraine, leading up to what we think will be kicking off soon, the Ukrainian counteroffensive.
At the same time, though, we're hearing that some of these parades will be scaled back. What does that indicate about how Putin might be feeling at this point in the war?
Well, it indicates a couple things. Number one, if you recall, you and I talked about this a couple days or so ago when that supposed drone attack on the Kremlin. There's that sense of trying to make sure that key areas of Moscow and so forth are protected. But also, it may point to the fact that he just doesn't have the tanks and, frankly, the military manpower to display what are parades across Russia, not only in Moscow. And so that's also, I think, one point. Second point is again, he's trying to make sure that the Russian people keep a close eye on not only commemorating the end of World War II or the defeat of Nazis in World War II, but try to parlay that into why it's important to support and commemorate what's going on in Ukraine right now. And so the two are tied together in his information operations playbook.
What's your read on the situation with the Wagner Group? Just days ago, kind of the leader of this mercenary group of Russian fighters was saying, we don't have the ammunition and the supplies that we need at the front line. If we don't get it, we're going to leave, which would severely impact the Russian forces. Now it seems like those comments are being walked back. The troops are staying, the Wagner troops. What's your take on this situation?
Well, my take is the Wagner Group leader, as we see right here in our picture, is a Russian billionaire. He's an oligarch. He's very close to Putin, but he's been somewhat in charge of Russian military operations in and around Bakhmut and the eastern Donbass region and so forth. And he made a visceral video. I've listened to his rants and seen his rants before, but this one was particularly with both tone and body language, where he was, again, very much lamenting the fact that he doesn't have ammunition. He doesn't have the perceived support from Moscow. And so he made it a very pointed video surrounded by supposedly Russian bodies, Russian soldiers' bodies, dead bodies. And then on Sunday, it appeared that there was some placating for him or with him, and that he came back and says, it appears that I now will have the ammunition and the support to continue the fight in Bakhmut in the Donbass region leading up to the spring offensive.
Is the focus on Bakhmut important in this war? I've heard people say two things. Yes, both sides need Bakhmut. Others say the war is so much bigger than that. We should focus elsewhere. What do you say?
I think we should focus across Ukraine, but Bakhmut stands significant because both Russian and Ukrainian forces are entrenched. Putin also said that he would take Bakhmut back in December, and here it is the middle of May, and that hasn't happened. The other significant aspect of this, should Ukraine mount that counteroffensive, it's going to be very difficult to really dislodge those entrenched Russian forces in and around Bakhmut. Think of back in our history of World War I, that entrenched warfare along the French and the German Maginot Line and so forth. It's going to be very difficult to dislodge those Russian forces, although they really haven't made any progress at all, and they've lost tens of thousands of soldiers, Marni, there, and so it's both what not necessarily a culminating point, but a significant area, both from the Russian perspective as well as the Ukrainian perspective. So time will tell whether or not we're able to dislodge, or Ukraine's able to dislodge the Russian forces out of there. To me, that's the significance of it.
Right. And thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.